Why, hello. Welcome to Strider QED's Music Composition Show. I seem very calm, but I'm very excited actually. Hey, I just wanted to welcome you. I hope some people have some interest in this. I'm going to discuss me writing music, how I came to be in music, and just a lot of things all about it, but mostly the process. So, like for tonight, I just want to talk about one piece in particular, where it came from, what the inspiration was, how I developed it and worked on it. One of the reasons for this is I find it every piece is almost different. There really has not been one way that I write, every piece or anything. They're all very different. So to discuss this one and show Logic Pro tracks for it and show how it developed, and I just finished it. It might not be completely finished, but it's pretty finished. So to start off with, this piece is, I'm a guitarist. I started off playing the guitar, but this piece is part of a ballet I'm writing for the Interior Castle, a book by Saint Teresa of Avila. Excuse me. And I'm writing one piece for each of the mansions in the castle. And this one is called, sorry, I just said so funny that I don't even know, like, which one am I going to play? Mystic Favors. And so it came from, the intro is called Roots Live, but it's actually the intro. And let me play that for you because I want you to hear it. Because the inspiration, the musical motives came from this introduction. So let me just play it real quick for you. And you can hear that's the first note of that. Bam, 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 bam. So that's like the start of that guitar piece, and yeah. Anyway, so then here is, and this is like one of the early ones. I think this was called Backup 5. And so here is Backup 5. I'm going to try and take you over there. Just a second. Let me see if I have this open. Okay, let me take you over there. You should be looking at it there. Now, listen to it and you'll hear it. So it's all major now. Rock, a lot of rock music it's sort of in between major and minor. It's pentatonic, but it's minor really. But so I made it major. And that's the second motive there. So you can hear it. I mean, listen again. I think it's kind of funny and neat. So just, boom, brought it in. All classical with the oboes playing electric guitar and stuff. And it might be interesting to see. So you can see down here, like there's the wave file. There are the original files I brought in. So very blocky, have that motive. Then here comes the second motive. I think this will be the second motive. Sorry, I gotta learn how to start it, not at the beginning. Yep. Dot, 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 dot. And I could literally take you back to the electric guitar. You would hear that. Again, I think that's the very last motive. I think that's the second motive again, down an octave it sounds like, right. So I haven't even brought in the third motive yet. Let me see, I think it's coming in here now. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. No, that's still the first one. And so, as you can hear, let me bring it back out here to me. I'll try and beat this. As you can hear, it's very blocky. It's just like the exact same thing over and over pretty much. So that's how it started. And then, like I said, every piece is different. There are other pieces which are much different, where I wrote a big harmony thing, and lastly, just boom, put a melody to the whole thing. This one was different because I think mostly because I had this idea. The idea was to take these motives from that introduction and then make them sort of classical, orchestrated music, and change it up. And have a feel. So I do go read each, mansion, and I say, well, this is, it's anxious, or it's this and that, and I think, oh, well, this is how I want it to feel. But, so there it is, 5 again. Let me see. It's only 40 measures long. I will play the last, 8 blocks here. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. Sounds just like the beginning, because, again, it's just these pasted whole blocks of, oh, that's an A, that's a B, that's a C sharp, chord. Harmonies and melodies just blocks, boom, boom, boom. So it's funny because if someone had played that for me, especially when I first started writing, I would have been like, well, that's just nothing, But anywho, let me take you now and play the last, the finished piece. Don't save. Don't want to save here on this. Let me take you back out there. You get this thing up. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see, Mystic Favors all finished up. Oh, sorry. Let me close all these. Those are all the sound libraries. Okay, I think you can see it. There it is. And this should sound a lot different, So I go into each block, and I start listening to it. And then I say, well, okay, the second one is an exact repetition of the motive. So first sort of pass through is, let me take those exact repetitions of the motive and find something I like. And often it is it can be very mathematical. It can say, let me take that, sorry, I just got to see this camera pan. That's just too cool. Sometimes it can be very mathematical, and it's like, I just want the retrograde of the motive. I want the inversion of the motive. Very, classical training, this is what you do. And then I will edit that and say, well, but that didn't sound good. I'll change it a little bit. This isn't counterpoint. I don't have strict rules. So I do that. I play with it. I move it around to the different pieces. I edit them a little bit. And then at some point, once it really started to blend, that 4-block sound, I'm always sort of trying to get rid of it. Even though the pause in the fourth measure, and part of it, what is part of the song? I mean, you heard it in the electric guitar, that doon 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 doon. There's that pause, and so that's definitely part of it. But then it goes away, and then to take, and mostly the violin, to start developing a real melody, to listen, and I'm playing on the keyboards, and let me do this just because I set this up, so this will be fun. Let me see if I can do this. This will be interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so that's fun. So here's my MIDI keyboards. So, I'm over here playing. Oh, there, I didn't even know that would work. I wasn't sure. And you're playing along and you're going, no, I don't like that, what I want to do. Okay, here's what's already there. Here's what the oboe's playing. And you're just sitting there. You'll spend a lot of time on 1 or 2 measures perhaps, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for indulging me. I'm going to say reset. And let's see if I got this thing right. Because I never get the reset right. I always forget to reset it. There, I got it. Oh, I'm learning. Thank you. Thank you for indulging me. So let's give a listen. This is, like I said, this you'll hear the beginning, but it should sound very different. Let me take you over there so I'm not distracting you. Let me see if I can do that. Okay. You can already hear like the dynamics. And there I go, I'm off and running. And so, it's interesting to me. I hope someone might find it interesting to hear, like it was it's all different now. And so then, it's multiple passes. So once I get a melody going down there in the violin, then I will, take, like, say, oh, I really like this piece of this melody. I will move it up to the oboes and say, let me introduce a part of that early in the oboes. Like, let me hint, like, look, here's what's coming, And so you get to play those games, and you get to play with all that stuff and do that. Okay, see, it's when I come back out here. It's Sorry, I'm indulging you again. Let me see if I can fix this, just so I will learn, just for a second. Yeah, see, it looks like it did something. I don't know what it did. But there it goes. I think it came back to me now. And so like I said, and then you take these musical motives that I have written in the violin, usually, and it's not always that, but I move them up into the other pieces, change them a little bit, think, I really like this, I want to introduce it. People who've been watching, I have been doing other streaming videos about the creation of this piece, will recall that I really had a hard time where I introduced this little thing that's like ding, 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 this little eighth note oboe thing, but I had to get it in there. It was, it was just it was part of it, and I struggled with it. And so, and I discuss this a lot. Often the case, those things, the things where you go, I'll never get this to work. I can't get this to work. I hate this. If you get it to work, because you don't always get it to work. Let's be clear about that. But when you do, it's often my favorite part, and it probably is because oh, look at this neat thing I did to get it to work. But it's also just, I think, the constraints, ideas, and the ECCO, a little bit of what's the word when something just happens, happenstance. It's the opposite of happenstance. Anyway, I don't know. Let me see. Where am I for time? I have been talking for 10 minutes, not at all, so no time at all. I hope people like this. Like I said, this is sort of my idea, is to do these lives and introduce some of my music. If I have something coming out, I'll probably play and say, oh, look, this is my latest piece, and here's where I got the ideas, and this was me working on it, because I have all these backups in LogicPro and stuff, and I do some work on the MPC. And I might even do some stuff where I just say, oh, here's some free form, we're just going to have fun and try and talk about music in general. And I would like to talk about art in general. Oh, so speaking of that, so here I'm at my big 11 minutes here. Last night I watched something at the Lenzik in Santa Fe, New Mexico, about a gentleman talking about what is creativity and what does it mean to be creative, and it was very interesting. It was very poignant. I thought he was very thoughtful. I won't say I agreed with everything he said, but that's not the point. The point was everything he said was very thoughtful, well thought out, and reasoned. And it was really interesting to hear, sort of not, he has a literature, so he definitely has the artsy hat, but not really, I don't think, as much as, say, a musician or something, and I kind of have a little bit of my science hat that I can put on. So it was very interesting, and anyway, he was talking about creativity and what is it, what is creativity, and there was another really good one about the guy who wrote Diamond Age that I read on Substack, where he was talking about, it's not a grand vision in the end usually, it's micro decisions. You're making all these little decisions all the time, and you're making artistic decisions, and so that's it. That ends up being what you're sort of trying to say, And I have some other talks, and I'll do rants where I'll talk about, what is art, but art is peeling an onion. So if you're trying to figure out what art is, it's sort of a fool's errand. But I will be that fool. Anyway, let me play you off. It was only not even 15 minutes, but it's brand new, sort of, YouTube lives. Like I said, I'm learning to use a lot of this software. I'm learning to just, interact with it in this way, and a lot of stuff. One quick thing, so this will maybe be fun. So I'm going to, again, use you as a guinea pig. I'm going to take this thing up here. And I thank you for indulging me. And so a couple of things. I want to go down to the MPC, and let's see if that works. Look at that. Look at that. I have an MPC, and it went right to it. So that's nice. So if I play there, I bet I can play the violins. Let me see. No. Looking for... Oh, I don't have the software hooked up to LogicPro today. But let me see if I can come back, because I always forget to come back. I've actually done live streams, and people just stay there. But I think I came back, and I think I'm even doing body tracking. Now check this out. This is just now just for a little fun. I'm going to take you into another room. It's called the Magic Theater. That's actually a room. That is not a picture. That is a room. I will walk in there to say hello. Just to do it. Yo, welcome to Strider QED. This is the Magic Theater for mad men only. devices. Stay tuned. But, so anyway, yeah, I had an artist come in and paint that picture. It's a classic picture. It is called Lost Horizons. So I will play you off here, leave you in the Magic Theater, and let me see. No, I gotta turn it off here. Thanks for watching.